Hi everyone, this is Tanya the Lady Strange. Welcome once again to my altar room. So this is a first impressions video of the deck I just got. I don't do unboxes because I'm clumsy, and yes, I just prefer to do first impressions versus unboxing. That's me. So yeah, and that's how I roll. So this is the first impressions of the deck. I just received it. I did just take a quick browse through most of the deck to get a feeling of it, as I have watched videos of this out there from the creator and from others that have had the deck. It is the Somnia Oracle. This is by Nicholas Bruno. I did order this companion guidebook to go with it. It does come with a little book, but I did like and want the companion. I love his point of view. I have his first deck, the Somnia Tarot, the bordered edition, the white one. A hauntingly beautiful deck. Hecate and Hades both come through on that deck. It's a very shadow deck. It's a very otherworldly deck. And the Somnia Tarot is my Salem deck because of the water, the ocean, the sand, the timelessness of it, the whispers, the darkness, the in-between, the historical of some of the items of furniture and relics in it, but the grit of the earth and sand and water as they meet, the elements of earth and water and even sky, the upper, the middle, and even the underworld senses of the Somnia Tarot. So this is the Somnia Oracle deck. So this is a companion deck. I've been eyeing it for quite a bit, but I just got it, but just pulled the trigger on it and just got it today. So I did a look through to get impressions, and this is a bit more of a first impressions. It's a bit out of the order as it is. I already got the impression it's a very psychological based deck, so it's very having to do with the psyche, just as its sister and main big sister deck, the Somnia Tarot. So they have the same ilk, the same affinity, of course, the same creator, Nicholas Bruno. It is a deck I love, the Somnia Tarot, and I'm already in love with this, and I had it in my hand for maybe a hot 15 minutes, so sitting with it. So yes, so I know this is going to be another major tool and companion in my arsenal, and to help me through my shadows, bring them to the light, illuminating the dark, illuminating my experience as a woman who has a lot of health issues, who's approaching a few years short of 50, sometimes who feels 150 more often than not in this physical body, and the world we're seeing and experiencing, and how much it's changed even in my short lifetime compared to others. But all the wisdom I've obtained, all the relationships I've learned and grown from experience, the evolution of my own self, and how I continue to experience, enjoy the fruits of my labor, the fruits of what truly matters in my relationships, and what I create and can continue to create as a person and a left-hand practitioner, and being proud to be a witch and a sovereign of myself, my relationships, my life and experiences, and just knowing I'm doing the best I can to show up and being a decent human. So this deck appeals to me as she's strange, she's macabre. I am the Lady Strange after all, hence the title. Hence, if you watch any of my previous videos, it's clearly evident. I'm proud of that. I embrace my individuality. I have imposter syndrome, but hey, I live and work through it just as we all live and work through it. And with this deck, I know she's going to help me. She's going to help me heal. She's going to help me acknowledge, process, and sit with it. Now, this deck, the imagery from the Somnia is very triggering to most people. It's his experience having to do with sleep paralysis, night terrors, and all the such. But it's an example of turning in something that's negative into positive to work, and the alchemical experience of life and transmutation and transformation at its finest. So this came with it, a postcard, which she does include. You can pause that to read that if you're interested, or to take a look. Here is the companion guidebook I bought with it. It was like $25 from his site. It's got a nice smooth thing. I haven't taken a major look at it. Again, this is also first impressions for myself. So it's meaty, as you can see. So it's worth it. It's his perspective. It explains the cards, the imagery, the choice of it, and of his own experience. I am a big proponent and a big enjoyer of others' personal gnosis and experiences. It's respectable. It's relevant. It is interesting and how we each experience life with our perceptions and perspectives and what we can create out of them and the evocative of what it evokes and evokes within us and how their experience evokes of them and how they express it. It's all about that in this world. It's about aestheticism, feeling, notion, emotions, psyche, thought, relativity. That's what makes us human. That's what makes us individuals. That's what helps us to get through the day to day, and also being friends and befriending and integrating our shadows. Not repressing, but integrating, expressing, and holding ourselves and our experiences and those that truly matter. And that's what this deck is for. So, along with my rambles there, first impressions. This box is lovely. Here's the back. If you want to pause that and take a look, if you are able to. The lighting in my altar room, my main work room, yeah, it's a bit much, or a bit less. It's in about 4:30 in the evening, or 5:30, should I say. It's getting a little darker, and it's this room, the lighting, because my eyesight is often darker versus light, because, yeah, I have to have a mid-level, but we're not talking about that. So the box, as you can, here's a little regular guidebook. Let me turn it upside down. My earlier video today, yes, Tarot V was upside down. Hey, it's me. It's what you get. You get an idea. So here's a little guidebook. It's nice. It's well made. Not just a typical pamphlet little guidebook. But of course I wanted the bigger, more in-depth one because this is going to be a working deck, as many of mine are. It's an indie deck, but it's reasonably priced for the quality you get. So here's the box. One of those fold-out clamshell boxes. This deck was only $65, so yes. But, oh my, look at that. The quality of the box in itself. So that's an impression on there of itself, as you can see already. Oh, let's see. Here's just the extra inserted oil lens card he inserted into the package. Lovely wrapped Somnia ribbon and such. Again, this is not unboxing, but this is to show what came with it. So again, high quality. Here's the backings. Oh, look at those backings. Gorgeous. And the gold foiling. And look at that edging, that gold gilt. So high quality, well made. Title card here. If you want to read that, you can pause that and zoom in on that if you can. Again, apologize about the lighting, but you work with what you have. So these are out of order as they came, but yes. So I put them in the order that I have and what I've liked so far. So you have also elements in here. So this is Spirit of Earth. So if you are triggered by this type of images, shadowy type of things, you may definitely want to turn back now. I am not responsible for triggering you. You're responsible for your own self, your experiences, just as I am, as I said in my earlier July wrap-up video. But if you're interested in something that is very artistically well done, creative, expressive of the creator's experiences in this world and their gnosis, this is and what they've shared with us. It's also very, it has a feeling of, like I said, very psychological. So you can really path work with this with logic, perceptions, and perspective, and marrying them in your human life experience and the shadow work you can do. You can also use it as analysis. You can also use it for emotions and relativity. I can tell the keywords are very insightful, very interesting. I love that card. So I chose some to show on here that I knew that I already liked and that would stand out. I know she's going to be a good clarifier to tarot and to her sister deck, but to other tarots, the many of my decks. I think she's going to bring great intuition, great insight, and give me food for thought and evoke more than just the surface level. That's what I like. More than what's on the surface and more than what's superficial. It's what's within and without. The above, the below, as they say. How the internal interprets external and how they affect one another in this experience. And I love the light and the shadow in this. It's clearly evident. And it has that left hand. A lot of the keywords and aspects have the things that appeal to my left hand path practice. But also, as I said, my decks are tools. They're companions. I have a relationship and experiences with them. They're energetic. And yes, divinatory. So I like the cardstock on this deck. It's thick, but it's not too thick. But it's definitely, well, stands out. One just fell on the floor. No surprise. Let's see what we have here. Hold on. This may be a message for someone that watches this. The beacon. So look at that. So the beacon is that light in the dark. That something that guides us through our days, our lessons, our experiences, our relationships, maybe how we're confused and often feel overwhelmed. There's still that beacon that guides us. That's our intuition. That's our higher perspective. It's the hope we have within us, but the hope that's actually faith and belief in oneself and things that can turn okay and that we have the resources. It's also what fills our cup, our well, our spring, and comes from our depths to our surface. So follow the beacon of yourself, your guides, what inspires you, and what gives you strength. That's a message for someone besides myself. I know it is. So again, take what resonates. So again, the cardstock on this is quite lovely. For the price point, this deck is quite a lot. And there's a lot of cards in this. I just don't know how many, but I've been looking through it. And yes, like I said, I sat with it well enough. And these are very haunting and quite a bit disturbing on that. Hence, Tanya's cup of tea. Indeed. I like things that kind of screw in my head, screw in my emotions, but help to balance me out. Since I am a gal that works with Hecate and Hades on his infernal majesty, we'll just label it as that, because that'll trigger a lot of people, especially knowing what I really work with, but that's fine. To each their own, as I always say. And it's up to each of us to discern what works for us, what we want to, what we resonate with, but to see the many layers and perspectives of everything that we watch, we see, and do, and not to criticize others. We all judge each other. I'm very judgmental. I admit it. I'm human. But it's also for what works for us, but not to criticize others for their interests, unless it's inherently harmful, fake, detrimental, maybe self-detrimental, you see that, or in certain ways. But again, this deck, I know I'm going to use in day-to-day. She's going to Salem with me, which I am leaving on in 2 days, Wednesday evening. This is Monday evening, so I'm leaving in 2 days from now. You can watch my earlier video where I mentioned that. I'm going to consecrate her in Salem. And her sister deck, or big sister deck, the Somnia Oracle, is going with me. I'm going to further consecrate her there too. Why not? They're my Salem decks. They are of the ocean. They're of the tides. They're of the emotions. They're of the other psyche, the other world, and magic, wisdom, that which is beyond the veil, beyond the known, beyond the certain. The only thing that is certain is uncertainty. Things that may trigger others. Maybe if it triggers you, maybe it's something to sit with and analyze. As I mentioned earlier, my earlier wrap-up video for July, I get highly triggered. I'm human, I'm a woman, I'm in this experience. I've had a lot of traumas, I continue to have them, but I also continue to grow, heal, and expand. Shed and be reborn. I am my own tower of my own life. In a positive and a negative way. Transmutation and transformation and evolution, and trying to just be the best woman and person I am for myself and for whom and what truly matters in this experience, but also in the world itself. The world needs better people, realistic people that can want others for that, and not following something blindly, but following the path and their truth to what is real, and not following something and being blindly submissive and being spoon-fed. I am after a left-hand path practitioner. So I'm trying to get through some of these so you can see. The words are good foiling, so they might be a little hard to see at the bottom because of my lighting, but yeah. But then again, I'm going to have a hard time reading them because of my eyesight. But my first impressions, having this deck in here for a hot minute, I'm already know that I give her a first impressions overall, like meeting someone, you know when you're going to sync, you're going to click, you're going to have many common goals, common experiences, past history, stories, things to laugh about, things to cry about, in-depth conversations to sit with each other. That's what this deck's going to do for me. I already feel it. She speaks to me, she speaks to my soul, so it's going to be a connective deck. I know that. And I know she's going to make appearances in my future videos. So again, sorry about the cat with the keywords. I'm sure I'll do that in a better highlighted video at some point. But the images speak for themselves. After all, the images give very much intuitive hits, as does the Somnia. See beyond what's obvious. Feel beyond what's triggers. Again, tap into something more than yourself and more than the surface. That's what this deck will do. That's what this creator does. That's what magic is. That's what wisdom is. So you can check this out on the Somnia Tarot site. Again, Nicholas Bruno is an amazing creator. So this deck, again, will be making appearances. I am so happy I finally pulled the trigger on. She hasn't been out long, so it's not as if I've been sitting with it for months or years. But still. And plus, I love the fact that it's borderless. I'm not a big border gal for the most part. But in the cases I do have the white bordered, I was going to get the borderless edition. I may at some point. Who knows? So, again, highly recommended. And I just got it in my hands. So I only know that it's going to be upwards from here and ascend from here. So with that being said, if you have this deck, let me know. If you're interested in getting it, or have any questions about it so far, or further down the road, like to see this from me, let me know. And I hope you like this and enjoyed this, and that you are into decks like this myself, let me know. And with that being said, thanks for watching, being here, and as always, stay strange.